Hello, everyone. This is Lilydale Radio. I'm Colleen van der Zijden. The name of the show is called Embracing Your Essence. And as I said, this is Lilydale Radio. I do want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. Tonight's topic is all about having peace in the turmoil. And before I get to all of that, I do want to talk about a couple of other things. I do want to mention some things. If you haven't heard, I did mention it last week that Lilydale will be opening, but it will be a limited opening this summer. It will not be a full normal opening. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, other Charlotte. Oh, no, you're in Saskatoon. Same Charlotte. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. So Lilydale will be opening, but it will be a limited opening. So there will only be, you'll only be able to come for a certain amount of time during the day, only a limited number of people, various things. I sent out an email about that today. So if you're on my mailing list, you'll see the details. I did send that all out. Lilydale's website is not quite updated yet with the new information, but I'm assuming it will be very shortly. And I also want to tell you we do have some new radio shows coming up, and some have started. Sharon Hill is doing one on Monday. Hold on, I need my notes. I can't remember which day it is. Knocking everything down. Sharon, Mondays at noon. Angie Apt is doing one Monday evenings at 7 o'clock. We have new ones coming eventually. Molly Hastings will do one Tuesdays at 2, but it's not going to start till July. Chris Seestead and Janice Dreschman will be doing one on Thursdays at 7, and that should be starting fairly soon. And Kara Seekings is supposed to be doing a thought exchange program Saturday morning in June. Then we also have the regular shows, my show, of course, and John White has his show on Wednesday night at 8. Willa White has her show at 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, and Celeste Elliott has a show on Thursday at 10 in the morning. There, I think I got it all. So now, so nice to see you guys. So today, hi Beth, hi Darlene, Michelle, Deb, Carolyn. Carol, I'm so glad you guys are watching tonight. I had a little technical difficulty before I started, so I'm happy it's working. Ryan is asking if you have a room reserved for 3 days at the Maplewood and your gate ticket reserved, you can stay on the grounds. Yes, I understand people can stay overnight. Not a problem. It should be fine. So no worries there. So today I am going to talk about peace in the turmoil. And I had planned to talk about something else, but then with the events over the weekend, I had to change my plan. And if you are just joining in, the show is called Embracing Your Essence. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, a registered medium at Lilydale, and I'm also a certified intuitive life coach. And I help people take action to create the life they want to have. So we are going to talk about this turmoil. And we are in a huge time of turmoil, turbulence, everything. Everything seems to be falling apart. And the other night when I was looking at Facebook, and sometimes I wonder about that. But I was looking there and I was seeing all the news about the riots and the protests and the deaths and all of this stuff. And it was very deeply affecting me. And probably you too. It was very disturbing. And we're all going through varying levels of pain and fear and so much disarray in our lives. And so I wanted to talk about this a little bit and also talk about some ways, some thoughts I had to provide some love, light, and hope for you. I am not going to talk about what some people think I'm probably going to talk about, which is how to meditate or strategies and techniques to relax and all that. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. Instead, I am going to be talking about some perspective shifts, ways to look at the situations in a slightly different understanding. This is all based on my own experience because it was a rough night the other night. I saw these things happening and I thought, what is going on in this world? And Charlotte is saying the energy is heightened, and it is. There is so much happening right now, and it can be very disconcerting, and we can feel so unbalanced and so not ourselves. We can feel helpless and hopeless, and we don't know what to do. And we feel like we should do something to help, anything. We feel like we should do something to help. But we're finding that sometimes if we speak our thoughts, what we feel our opinion is, sometimes we get attacked for saying that because it's not the right perspective according to someone else. And so it makes it very hard for us to say something And maybe we just don't have a full understanding of what's happening, so we have a limited perspective. Or maybe, we really truly feel like we understand, but yet when we say something, we might feel attacked. People are scared to say things. People are scared to do anything. We start worrying about what the possibilities that could come out of all these situations. We start getting ahead of ourselves and worrying about those. And I'm not saying not to be concerned about them, of course, but I don't want us to focus on them. And some people are feeling guilty for not doing enough or not doing the right thing again. There is a lot of confusion going on. And it's very, it kind of robs our peace. And I will talk more about peace in a minute and give you some thoughts on that. And you know me, you know how I'm going to go. So we'll be all over the place, and I probably will turn into preaching tonight. I want to see what Ryan's question is. He says, my turmoil is I have hypochondria, and I always assume the worst case scenario when I get a health issue. Do you have any advice for that? How do you keep your peace with that? Yes, Carol is giving you a good advice right there. You have to stay positive. And I know that's so much easier said than done. I have found, Ryan, that as, when things are happening that are out of my control, and hypochondria is kind of out of your control, isn't it? It's in a sort of like a phobia, I guess, I really had to consciously move into trusting. I just really have to trust that everything is going to work out as well as it can. Sometimes somebody with hypochondria, it can do them good to investigate and get facts, but it can also lead you down a rabbit hole if you're not careful, because before you know it, you've diagnosed yourself with something that's horrendous. So you might want to repeat a mantra back to yourself about trusting, somehow related, something that works for you. Beth is saying, I keep freezing. I don't know if it's me. It may not be me. I have new internet that's supposed to be amazing, so I don't know. We'll find out. So we are going to talk about finding peace in this turmoil. So can you find peace? And it's okay to want it. For our mental health, we can't spend every moment in outrage or feeling pressured to do, think, or feel a certain way. We can't spend every moment stuck in that quicksand of hopelessness and helplessness. We can't do it, okay? And I know some people will say things like, well, you should be upset and you should this and you should that. But you're the only person who knows yourself. You're the only person who knows what your mental health can handle. I know that I cannot handle a lot of really negative things around me. I have to be very careful about how I use my energy. And part of that is because I am a sensitive and I am an empath, as many of you are. So we have to know where we are. And we have to know what we are comfortable with and what works for us. Don't let somebody tell you you need to think or act or do something a certain way, because they don't know you, okay? So you can, yes, find peace during this time. And I will talk about some ideas, of course, as we're going. Now, I am in no way, and I want to make sure I'm very clear, I am in no way minimizing what is happening now. For me, this is overwhelming, distressing. I can get angry. I can get sad. It brings up a lot of emotions for me. The pandemic was a struggle enough, wasn't it? Isn't it? We're concerned about our own health. We're concerned about our economic situation, our financial. We're concerned about their mental, all related to the pandemic and what's been going on. We're concerned because we've had people die, or we're concerned we might die. There's the fear of more death. And then we add on top of that, we add in the shocking behaviors and murders and riots and all of this stuff. And it can feel like we are at a war, in a war. And we are in a war. We are in a war. And let me tell you what this war is. We're in a war with the darkness within ourselves. As a collective whole, we are at war with this darkness. Everyone is struggling. Every single person is struggling one way or another. You may have a great day one day, and then the next day you can't handle anything. Some people are holding on to the past, wanting nothing to change. So they're holding on to a form of darkness, okay? Some are petrified of change, and they're petrified of people who are different than they are. They're petrified of the possibilities, and that fear is just overwhelming them. Many people now are speaking without thought. They are condemning and judging others. Just the other day, I happened to see something on Facebook. Well, how come this spiritual teacher has not addressed this publicly? How come this person has not said anything? Those people who are saying that are judging those spiritual people. Maybe those spiritual people have announced their opinions on it to their people. Maybe they have not. Maybe they're allowing the information to come through them. But here are people judging them for not saying what they want these spiritual people to say. People are experiencing these extreme emotions. These things are coming up. And because people are scared, they are going on the offensive. And so that's why they're going and they're attacking other people and condemning them and judging them. It's very easy for us to do and not even realize we're doing it. You know, we see something on Facebook, we hear somebody say something, and immediately we attack them in our minds and sometimes out loud, sometimes with our hands typing, but we attack them for having a belief system that's different than ours. Remember, I've talked in the past about how some people are just unaware. They're unaware. Unaware doesn't mean they're bad people. It means they just don't know yet. They don't understand yet. And my goal, my purpose here in life is to help people understand life from a different perspective, a more empowered perspective. I am learning and growing every day. You know, I always tell you about my failings and how I don't quite get there sometimes. So we all do it. We all have these moments where we just fall into that trap of fear. We're just not thinking clearly. And so many now are unaware that we are all people. I know, we all know we're people, right? But do we know, all of us know, we're people? If we all knew we were people, we would recognize our oneness. We would recognize our connection. So what is happening is now, and this is how this ties in with peace for me, is that we are in this consciousness shift. I've talked about that a few months ago, maybe last year. I talked about this being in this consciousness shift. The world, the whole world, is shifting to a new dimension, a new higher perspective of love. It's happening whether people want to go there or not. It's happening. Out of everything that's happening around us now, the physical things that are happening, the pain and the losses, the disarray, everything, comes this new awareness. So many new awarenesses. This is helping people understand life, themselves, spirit, God, the universe, everything from a higher perspective. Some people just don't know yet. They don't know. We are in what I'm also terming a great awakening. This darkness is being exposed. The hate, the inequality, anything that goes against the fact, it is a fact, that we are all one. Anything that goes against that connectedness, the love, the oneness, is being exposed. We are basically unlearning what society has taught us over generations. Generations. We are just unlearning these beliefs that we may have picked up and not even known. We're unlearning how we thought we were supposed to live. We have been so focused in this time on the physical. We've been focused on achieving. We've been focused on success in business. We've been focused on having money, the best car, the best house. We've been focused externally. And in this great awakening, this consciousness shift, we are being forced to focus internally. We are being forced to look at ourselves and decide for each one of us, for ourselves, who are we? And who do we want to be? What are we striving for? Where do we want to go? As individuals, so much is happening, isn't it? This is, I've got to pause for a minute and address Ryan's comment. Whenever you bring the cultural shift up, I get nervous because I think the end times are coming and we have to go through the event of revelations in the Bible to get to what you're saying. And I do have a perspective on that, Ryan, because as I understand it, it may feel like the end times are coming. And I have talked before, we are at a tipping point, and the tipping point is here. When I talked about it a few weeks ago, it was coming. It is here now. The tipping point is here. We have a choice. Which way are we going to go? Is the love going to win or not? I'm holding on to the love winning. But this thought of the revelations here at the end times, in a way, that's correct. If you dream about a death, while you're sleeping, of course, if you dream about a death, that means a significant transition, a change in your life. The end times, the revelations, yes, this is an end time of the way we've been living. It feels like a death. It feels like the end because we don't understand what's going to happen after. We don't understand that what we're actually doing is we're going to bloom and blossom once we move through this, and each one of us is going to help. But it is an end time. It is a different. In a way, it's like a birth. There's a lot of pain, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, and then we have something beautiful. So that's what's happening. Now, as individuals, what's happening externally is also happening internally. We cannot separate our internal selves from the external situations. We're all energy, we're all connected. All of our energies are merging at all times. So we are connected with that. As sensitives, empathics, we're feeling it all. We're feeling everything. And you might notice that it's not just conflicts in society, but you may also notice there are problems and issues with people near you, family, friends, coworkers. You may notice community disagreements and infighting. You might notice that the tempers are flaring. Somebody will overreact to something else. You might feel like you're being attacked for not doing enough, the right thing from another's perspective. It may feel like you're surrounded by endless problems and evil. Now, the reason I'm talking about all this is because if we can understand what's happening around us and within us, it's so much easier to find that peace because we have that understanding. We understand there's a greater purpose here and that we don't really understand it, but we understand it's there. So it is important for us to have this awareness of what's happening. Otherwise, we can get stuck in the idea, the thought that, we're all going to die tomorrow, and maybe we will in that inner sense of being reborn. But yes, Angela saying, I love your message, but losing a loved one tragically does not give me a sense of hope for the future. And I agree with you totally, Angela. Absolutely. And I should probably address that because with all the losses happening now, and I've talked about this before too, with all the loss, the grief that is here now, and it's very hard for us in our grief to have a sense of the future, a sense of hope, a sense that we'll ever feel good again. And we have to, if we can. And if we have new losses, of course, we are still in survival mode. And that can last for a while. It's not like it's 2 weeks and it's over. It's going to last for a while. I suggest to people to hold on to, if you believe in a spirit, a God, the universal energy, love, if you believe in any of that, just hold on to it as best you can. And recognize that even if you feel like you're floundering and you're lost, that the God energy, the universal energy, the angels will come around and lift you up. And people will as well. There are so many angels who are here in the physical. People will lift you up. And we all send love to everybody who has suffered great losses. And there are so many people right now. So never, ever do I want to dismiss that. I will put a little aside in right now. This summer, the weekend of July 18th, I think it starts 17th, 18th, 19th, Lily Dale is doing a grief weekend. Love Never Dies weekend is what it's called. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to be here in person for it. So much of it will be online. I will be doing a workshop called Navigating the New Reality After Loss. It's at 2 o'clock on July 18th, Saturday afternoon. And I will be talking about different ways to handle the emotions and look at life from a different perspective. So I just wanted to throw that that in there now since we digressed a little bit into grief, which is necessary. So back to my finding peace. What's happening now is, you feel fine one day, then you don't. It may feel like nothing is stable. Even the things you normally do to make yourself feel better may not be working. You might not have your support system. You might feel guilty about wanting to be happy, or you might feel guilty when you laugh one day, thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. It's such a horrible time." But no, we must have that peace. We must have that laughter. The external is peeling back those layers to help you get to who you are within, your essence. The losses, the turmoil, all of it are signs of our transition to living our most spiritual existence in the love. Everything that's happening right now is telling you that you are now transitioning into this love. You are going through the Great Awakening. Everything that's happening is helping you peel back those layers of things that aren't right for you anymore. So if we have this larger picture, we understand this large picture, it becomes easier for us to handle the conflicts, but also to find those moments of peace. Now, the point of my show is to talk about peace, of course, but I do want to say, the situation that we're having now, you know how when something really horrible happens, a school shooting or something, and everybody goes, "Oh, we're going to send prayers and good thoughts." Well, yes, that definitely helps. But this situation now, all of it, is a sign for us to take action and to contribute consciously, intentionally, contribute to the healing and recovery from the darkness. You will contribute in your own way. Okay, some people, it is an energetic process. Maybe that's what we do. Some people may be like me here, where I try to give you a new perspective, try to uplift you. Other people are going to be out there and they're going to be protesting. They're going to be making statements. They're going to be sharing their perspectives. Everybody has their own path, and everybody has to take their own personal action. Don't tell somebody else how to act, what to do. Never. I know you guys wouldn't. And if someone does to you, feel free to tell them to stop. So this is a time for us to take some kind of action, whatever feels right to us. So what is the way? What is the answer? How can we find the peace within all of this turmoil? Like I said a few minutes ago, the understanding of the consciousness shift and this great awakening can truly help. Now, I do need to pause for just a moment so I can do my little advertisements so I don't forget. So if you're just joining in, this is Embracing Your Essence on Lily Dale Radio. I'm Colleen Vanderzijden. You can connect with me at ColleenVanderzijden.com or PsychicMediumColleen.com will take you to the same place. Follow me on my Facebook page, please. Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. Lily Dale Assembly Incorporated on Facebook. LilydaleAssembly.org on their website. That's their website. Okay, I've done all that. Now I can get back to my work. So what is the answer? Understanding consciousness shift, the Great Awakening. You are alive now because you are here to help guide the whole, the oneness, the consciousness. You are here to help guide the whole into the new perspective. Every one of you is here to help in your way, your own way, whether it's your kindness you show to the person down the street, whether it's stopping to help somebody, by the side of the road who fell off their bike, whatever it is. You are alive now because you are here to help. Understanding that you are a part of this helps it because you're connecting to your soul's energy, that positive peace that's already within. When you understand that bigger picture, you understand that basically what's happening is we are having a rebirth of humanity. It is a rebirth of humanity. When you are aligned with yourself, your soul, the love within yourself, the essence, you have the eyes of God. You are God. Your soul, everything, is connected to the strength and the power of God. This provides you, too, with that understanding. It's a greater perspective, a more empowering perspective. It's a conscious decision on our part to look at what's happening from a different perspective. And when we feel that helplessness and hopelessness and fear and everything, Never deny how you're feeling. Acknowledge it. Process it as you best can. Never deny it. But then you can also go, you know what? But I understand there's something greater coming through me. There's something greater coming through humanity. And I am here to help. And that will help you get through it. Do not dismiss the fact that sometimes people are like, oh, this isn't going to help. But it is going to help because it's going to help you move forward. It's going to give you peace. It's going to help you grieve for what has been lost. Not only grieving for the people that have been lost, but grieving for what our hopes were. Because some of those things we thought might happen may not happen. So we have to grieve some of the things that we're letting go of that maybe we no longer needed. But we still have to grieve that. So when you recognize that you are a part of God, that you are God, and that we are all connected as part of this consciousness, the oneness, the greater awakening, this will help you as you make your choices moving forward. And it may also help you move into some forgiveness if necessary as well. I know it can seem impossible to think that society will change. I know, I've been there. It seems impossible in a way that we are going to come out of this stronger, that we will make it through. But with your individual actions, the small steps you take, you do make a difference. The understanding leads you to the peace and the oneness. It's leading you to compassion. Compassion is a great form of love. It's a great form of love. You may find that you're actually holding pain for other people. So there may be a time where, everything's fine. Then all of a sudden you just feel the weight. And it may be because your soul says, hold on, I'm going to take care of some of the pain from other people. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to let you help us process it. And you may feel it in the depths. You may feel the grief, the depths of the emotions there. But you may be helping because you're releasing the pain and transforming it for people who may not be able to. I'm going to look at the comments because I see Sharon says something here. I have panic attacks when I go out of my house. I feel distant from family when I see them. I feel like I lost the love of them with social distance. How can I get this back? Sharon, that is so interesting you asked that question. I have been experimenting with sending energy to people. And I have been experimenting to physically, consciously, intentionally send love to people and physical touch. And I am a healer. I've been doing healing work a long time, and I do distant healing, and people were have been telling me for years, that they could tell where I was when I was working on them. So if I was, working on their shoulder, they say, oh, I felt you touch my shoulder, then I felt you go over here, then I felt that. So I've been experimenting with this. And Sharon, what I have found is that we are, like I've been saying, connected to everybody energetically. You might try with a friend, a sister, a relative, whoever. Just say, I want to practice sending you a love or a hug or something like this, and ask somebody if they would, at 7 o'clock at night or something, you guys can sit there and you can just close your eyes and just practice sending energy. You can pretend, basically, to be giving them a hug. You can pretend to hold their hand. You can pretend to be right next to them. And what you're doing is you're sending that energy. That may help. For people who are big huggers, it's very difficult now, isn't it? To not just go up to somebody and just give them a big hug, because that's what we do. That's what we do here in Lilydale. We hug people all the time. I hug my clients when they leave my room about 90% of the time. And it's very hard to not have that. But I'm finding sending the energy helps. So Sharon, give that a try and see if it works for you. It would be interesting to see if people can feel you doing that. So let's see. So compassion, focusing on the bigger picture. Something I've learned over the past year is when I experience fear, what that does? It moves me into the state of trusting. I'm allowing the fear to lead me to trust. And when I'm trusting God, Spirit, I'm trusting that all will be well. I'm trusting I'm doing the best I can. I'm trusting I'm being guided by my soul, remember, which is directly connected to the God energy. And when I trust, that leads me to the peace, because then I don't have to be in control. I don't have to be. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to step into the fear. I don't have to think, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't have to worry about it because I'm like, you know what? You got this for me right up there. You guys got that, right? My soul is going to take care of it, connecting there, and I don't have to worry. That brings me peace. That is a new way of thinking. A birth, and this is not easy, right? A lot of screaming, all that stuff. A rebirth may be more difficult because it's ripping away the darkness that we allowed to exist. We didn't sit there and go, oh, I want the darkness to be here. We didn't do that. But we were conditioned to believe certain things, feel certain things. It's ripping away what we've been comfortable with, and we were unknowing. We weren't aware. We didn't realize. But now we're learning. We're unlearning and we're learning. And we're ripping away that darkness, the habits of those beliefs, the ignoring, the denying. And with that ripping away of the darkness, it's shaking us to the core. Everything is different. Everything around us is different. We don't have our people we want to hug right next to us. We don't have them. It's hard. It's challenging. But that's okay. We can handle it. We can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to send ourselves love. We're going to talk to people. We're going to reach out to people. We're going to connect with people in different ways, whether it's energetically, phone call. I talk to people more now on the phone than I ever did before, and we're waking up. We're just waking up. We have nothing to hold on to now. Nothing to hold on to now except our soul. That's all we've got. But our soul is all we need. Our soul is the consciousness. Our soul is the oneness. My soul is your soul. We have our individual physical manifestations of ourselves, of course, and we have our individual interests in this lifetime, but our souls are one. Our souls are one. And if we can understand this shift in the awakening, it's leading us to that peace and understanding of our soul. I will look at the comments because I am preaching and I've got more to say. ESP with our grandchildren. Yes, Pauline. Ryan is saying, don't we have to completely purge ourselves of fear to move into 5D? Well, Ryan, that seems a little bit too human. That seems like a human limitation that we have to get rid of all of this to move into 5D. I'm going to look at it backwards there, and I'm going to say that if we move into 5D, the 5D is going to help us release the fear. So we don't have to do anything. We're going to let the 5D, we're going to let the universe, we're going to let God take care of it. That's my theory as of today. I might change it tomorrow, but that feels right to me. Barb, is this really waking up? Yes. This is really waking up. Because of the way our human existence is right now, and it will change as we keep waking up, but the way it is right now, it is necessary, unfortunately, that we experience pain, loss, grief, turbulence, turmoil, confusion, hatred, negativity, and fear. I think I got them all. It is necessary that we experience all these things because we need to be shaken. We need to, Spirit, God needs to get our attention. So this is what's happening. As we progress on this awakening, we won't need it. And really, we really don't need it. Our souls don't really need it. It's our physical parts that need all this so that we reach the soul, unfortunately. There will come a time, whether we're all here for this or not, but there will come a time where we are operating as more spiritual beings and we can shift without the pain. And some of us now can do this now. Some of us can shift without the pain now. That is not saying that some people are better than others, nothing like that, or superior in any way. But some people who have been on the spiritual path for quite some time have practiced different strategies, techniques, ideas, perspectives to look at situations, problems, concerns from a different perspective and can shift out of it faster or don't even really step into it. They can see it from a higher perspective. So there are some who don't have to experience the pain and the turbulence in order to wake up. Tom, is this awakening one of the things we've come here to help our souls learn and grow? Exactly, Tom. What is happening? We are helping our souls reconnect That's what we're doing. When we understand all of this, then we can accept what's happening. Remember, acceptance is not approval. Acceptance means we see it's there, but we're going to do the best we can to not get tied into the emotional pain. And again, if you feel sadness, let it come up, let it come out. If you feel the anger, let it come up. Let it. You've got to express the emotions. And then you'll be able to move into another layer of acceptance. Now, another idea, another aspect of finding peace in the turmoil is to give yourself permission to have it. It's okay to want inner peace, even if there's turmoil around us. It's not selfish to unplug and stop watching. If somebody's trying to make you guilty, some people will project it on other people. Get away. Walk away if you have to. Tell them not to talk to you. Whatever you've got to do. It's not selfish to unplug, okay? It's not selfish to take time for self-care and go through those tough emotions and get back to feeling like you again. It's important to recognize that to have peace, there are those times where you have to disconnect from the turmoil for your own mental health. We can't be in it all of the time. And when we disconnect, what's happening is we're resetting our energy. We're giving ourselves time to process. We're giving ourselves time to heal a little bit, to clear our energy out. And then we come back stronger. It's essential because you are a light for other people and you have to take care of yourself. It's the airport or the airplane thing, put the mask on first before you do it with your neighbors. So it's the same principle. Now, of course, when you're resetting your energy, I need to meditate. I need to write. Writing really helps me a lot. I channel through information, gives me greater perspectives on issues, problems, or whatever. So there's certain things, and we've talked about the reset button before, things you can do to make you feel most like you. That's a time to do those. It's okay, because those things are going to bring you peace. And it's okay. Give yourself permission. Sometimes people don't think they should or can, or it's the right thing. But no, you've got to do what's right for you. And if you need some peace, that's okay. Do it. Some other people can get very passionate and they like to get, right in the thick of things. Other people can't. You decide what's right. Remember, the internal is a reflection of the external, and the external is a reflection of the internal. They goes back and forth. So when we adjust our internal, our inner peace is going to expand outward, and create more peace externally. So you creating inner peace is only going to help people around you, whether they're people close to you at a 6-foot distance, or if it's energetically and you're just sending it out to everyone. So you're going to be creating this. You may think you're too small and insignificant to make a difference, but no, that's wrong. You are powerful. You are strong. You are part of that whole. So remember, your soul is touching the other souls. So if you have the inner peace, every soul that you're touching, which is all of them, you're also giving them a little bit of peace as well. So your action in creating peace affects the whole. You are never small. You are never insignificant. You are helping. Another thought is, how can you be at peace? How can you be at peace? I'm checking my time. I am preaching, so it takes a little longer tonight. How can you be at peace? What do you practice? Okay, so think about this. What do we practice? Do we practice demonstrating love to ourselves, to other people? Do we practice forgiveness? Do we practice letting go of what someone else has done to us, in quotes? Do we practice forgiveness of our perception of situations? Do we practice self-care? Do we practice supporting others, uplifting them? Do we practice non-judgment, which would be acceptance? Do we support other people in their process? Now, I am not, and I want to be clear because some people get a little confused these days, and I'm not saying you people, but who knows? I want to be clear, I'm not supporting people taking action that damages other people. I'm not supporting anything like that. But do we support each other as we're going through the process? I'm talking about supporting each other with dignity, respect, kindness, love, and compassion. Do we allow other people to handle the consciousness shift, the turmoil in the way that is best for them? So remember, whatever is right for you is right for you. Whatever is right for someone else is right for them. Wherever we are today, mentally, emotionally, is right for today. If we're in a different place tomorrow, that's right for tomorrow. If we're feeling sad today, that's okay. And we can't do anything, that's fine. Tomorrow may be a great day. And we may feel that stronger connection. So we need to feel all of that. So what do you practice that contributes to more peace? What do you believe? Can you open your eyes, your thoughts, your awareness to the possibility that we are in that great awakening I've been talking about today, that we are in it? Can you open your eyes to that and think, could this be true? Could this be true that we are in a rebirth of humanity? Humanity, a rebirth of humanity. Could it be true? Could it be true that you are a part of this, that you are here living at this very moment because you are a part of it? You are here to help. Can you believe it? Can you be open to allowing the turmoil to peel away those layers of darkness within yourself and in society and in the external? Are you opening to understanding all of this? It's interesting things to think about, isn't it? I would think somebody might be looking at me now and going, wow, she's getting all excited and she's all happy about this problem out here. But I'm not happy about that, the external part. I'm happy to feel the joy of what can be and what is going to be, and the power that each one of us has to create this. We have this. And when we strive for that peace, we're creating it. We are all connected, and those small steps are big steps. What we think is small is huge. They're gigantic. Our desire for peace is the desire of the vast majority of people in the world. If you choose peace, you're positively affecting everything. Yes, Barb is saying George Floyd's suffering has sparked a major change in the whole world. Yes, isn't that something? And then you look at the previous situations that were similar. You add them together and you think, why? Why has this not happened sooner? We have to trust divine timing. And we also have to trust, and you know, that these people who have passed, the people who have been lost across to the other side, all of those people, and the sadness that goes with that what souls they must be to put themselves in that situation here in the physical, to uplift and be a part of the consciousness and the awakening. It is a thought, you know, because if we're all here for our purposes, it's something to think about. So even in the turmoil, the mess around us, you can always choose peace. You just have to do it to the best of your abilities. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to go through every day in a Pollyanna state of mind. And I know it's funny because sometimes people meet me and they think, oh my gosh, you're so happy all the time. I'm not. I'm happy a lot. I'm happy a lot. But there are times, like the other night, when I was seeing everything that was happening, and I just felt such grief, such loss. And the emotions were coming up, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do with this. And that's when the next day I realized what was happening, and I realized I was holding space for people, and I was allowing other people's grief to come through me. So I recognized that, and that did help with my striving towards being more peaceful. The physical turmoil is a doorway. It's a doorway to understanding and learning, relearning and learning. Hold on, apparently I need to let my cat out of my room. He was sleeping under the table. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. So this doorway to learning, unlearning, understanding, it's leading us to reconnecting with our soul's innate peace. Our soul is peace. It took me like 45 minutes to get here to tell you the whole point of the whole thing is that your soul is what is providing the peace for you. You, in this, deciding to choose peace, being here in this awakening, understanding, learning, is all about becoming one. It's all about those soul's connections. And when you're creating that peace, you're creating love for every single person. Every single person in the whole world. In the whole world. And I know that sounds so dramatic, but it's true, isn't it? Because we're all one. The consciousness, the collective consciousness, that is what's happening. Cindy is saying it's intense. It is so intense, isn't it? And you may find some other things. Just I'm going to go off for a second and then I will stop talking. But you may find that, I talked briefly about how some things that would help you feel more like yourself, help you relax, may not be working. But you may find that, you're sleeping better or worse than you used to. You can't think clearly. It might take you forever to pay your bills, and normally you're really fast about it, or you're making mistakes when you pay your bills. You may find that things are just a little bit different now. So be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself. Ryan, I'm talking to Ryan a lot tonight. I'm gonna have to backtrack and look at some of the other comments so none of you guys feel left out. What kind of sad is they say we pick our deaths. George picked that death for himself in the spirit realm, knowing what was to come. It's sad and selfless at the same time. And remember too, it's sad on the human perspective. From the soul's perspective, it's just, and I do use that intentionally, just a transition. It's just a transition, returning to his essence, his soul as well. Okay, I am going to go back through the comments just because I want to make sure I've addressed stuff. And if I have not addressed your comments today, I will do them tomorrow when I go through and read them and as I update my captions too as it goes. Barb, I experience such anxiety when I'm around people. Yes, and whether that's new or not new, it's very interesting. Remember a few weeks ago I did that anxiety process, transcend anxiety process. So that's still out there. If you haven't tried it, definitely try that. I'm just checking to see the comments. It's so nice you guys to join me. Here, I could do my advertisements while I'm skimming the comments. I don't even know what they are. Isn't that interesting? Who am I? I don't even know who I am. So this is Embracing Your Essence. The name of the show is called Embracing Your Essence. It all is really about becoming your soul, becoming your essence, loving your essence. That's what it's all about. I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, registered medium at Lilydale. I think I'm going to be doing in-person readings this summer, starting in July. I'll have a better idea once we get closer to July. I want to feel into it a little bit more. So I'm letting people make appointments. If you already have appointments with me, we can shift them to different kinds if you want to as we go, or cancel if you want to do that too. That's fine. I am suggesting to people Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, all that stuff as much as possible. For you Lilydale visitors, like I said, there's a whole bunch of changes this year. If you're not on my mailing list, I did just send it out today with everything that's going on here at Lilydale. If you're not on it and you'd like to be on it, go to my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com is the quick link. Or you can also message me and I can send you a copy so you can see what I wrote today. I don't want to go all into it right now. But you do want to check with your mediums if you're planning on coming to Lilydale to see if they're working. I would say probably about half are not going to be doing readings. Hello, baby. Don't trip here. About half are not going to be doing readings in person. I think everybody is doing readings online in some way, but about half are not doing them in person. And so it just depends on how I can make my reading room work so you guys are far enough away from me, because, I talk a lot and sometimes I spit, so we don't want that, do we? Okay, so I'm just going to check the comments again. Did I do all my stuff? Follow me on my page if you haven't yet. I still have a really great list, by the way, of suggestions for radio shows that you guys gave me. If you have more, you want me to talk about something in particular, please do message me or write it in the comments. I will see it and I will write it down. I've just been going with the flow of what's happening. because we're all struggling now, and myself included at times. And I want to make sure I'm helping us all handle what's happening now. Okay. It's not all about, rose-colored glasses here. Okay, I do think that's all. I'm going to go back and make sure. Are there more advanced souls than usual here now to usher in this rebirth? That is such a great question, Tom. I would say yes. I really would. Think about how many people have awakened in the last 10 years and are very interested in the spiritual careers now, if you will, or metaphysics and all of that stuff. Even yoga. Just a few years ago, really, yoga was not that popular. Now, so many people understand yoga, and it's a spiritual practice for them. So there's many things there tonight. Okay. Oh, Barbara's saying I'm alone all the time now since the pandemic, and to be around people is difficult. Yes, yeah, you'll have to probably practice getting back into that once we're comfortable and things look good for getting close to people again. You'll probably have to practice that. Be gentle with yourself, Barb, because I know you're really good about being there for other people. So just be gentle. Okay, I will stop talking. I want to thank you all so much for watching and listening today. I enjoyed talking to you. I enjoyed my preaching that just kind of comes through for you. And I'm hoping that this week is a wonderful week for you, a peaceful week for you, that you think about some of the things I said and how you can express your soul and how you can find that inner peace. And remember how much you're helping other people. You really, really are. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful week. I will talk to you next week. Bye.